Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, I say founder released twice a day. Guys, he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase with Picatinny reliable adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15 like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more and see me shooting a flamethrower. And lastly, trying to get 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends and your enemies, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Ford Motor Company saying, well, maybe pause or kill the F-150 Lightning because, yes, they are terribly fiscally speaking. Now, it's brought to us thanks to InsideEVs.com, and oh, I'm sorry, I should put a visual disclaimer on the screen. You now have to see the Ford F-150 Lightning, which I suppose if you have enough money to piss away on a depreciating asset like an EV, you would also presumably have enough money to buy Milwaukee tools, which, don't get me wrong, pretty nice tools, but they are a pretty penny. And their marketing department's probably happy that I can recognize those tools just by the general design and the color scheme. They don't see the Milwaukee logo in this picture, but if you know, you know. Now, again, this is credited to InsideEVs.com, specifically Mac Hogan, who's a writer there. And they say, quote, the Ford F-150 Lightning was supposed to transform the industry. I'm sorry, that wasn't supposed to be a joke. I'll never forget when Hoovie, a famous YouTuber, great car content, he bought the F-150 Lightning and he famously towed a vintage Ford Model T, or he tried to. Yes, because of physics, as soon as you try to tow anything with an electric vehicle, the range drops like a Boeing airplane. So it's quite comical. And yeah, a lot of people roasted that video. Now they say, quote, now Ford might pull the plug, which I don't know if he meant to, but unintended, I would think. Now, the Wall Street Journal says, quote, the demand is just not there for the truck, as a dealer telling to the Wall Street Journal, which, well, yeah, no duh. Now they say, quote, Ford announced the electric F-150 Lightning with optimistic movement in the EV era. The company and many others expected a, sorry, this is not supposed to be a joke, a hockey stick-like growth for all their upcoming electrical products. No. Ford at one point planned to sell up to 150,000 Lightnings annually. However, last year the company sold just 33,000 electric trucks and sold them at a substantial loss, which, yeah, when they say substantial, it is terrible. I actually just pulled up a quick Ask Grok, the AI tool from Twitter, and I asked them, like, hey, how much are they losing on these vehicles? Spoiler, a lot. And this is based on every EV model, just not just a truck. In 2022, they lost $2.2 billion on EVs, correlating to a loss of $55,000 per vehicle. 2023, Q2 did a little bit better, lost $32,000 per EV. But again, you're looking at the full year 2023, they lost $64,700 per EV. They lost $4.7 billion in 2023. In 2024, they lost $5.1 billion total, correlated to $52,000 per unit sold. Now, again, that is partial. Again, it's not all in that vehicle. It's the infrastructure, it's the factories, it's all the overhead that is required to retool factories, make new factories, write new software. Again, it's not like the components alone on the vehicles are causing that mind-boggling loss per vehicle. It's all the overhead. And again, those numbers, they're pretty bad. And they seem to be getting worse. Again, 2022, they lost $2.2 billion. 2023, lost $4.7 billion. 2024, lost $5.1 billion on their EV boondoggle. Thank God they have gas-powered vehicles that make enough profits where they can afford to do this. Well, in the short term, I don't think they can do that for decades. But yeah, when it comes to like how bad the losses are, I want to pull this up because that's terribly bad. Like, that's, I don't know what's more, if you're a major investor, I don't know what would frustrate you more. The fact that they're losing like $5 billion a year on EVs, or that they've had a record number of recalls as well. Both are not good signs or long-term viability of a company. Now, again, back to the article. Again, that's InsideEVs.com. They say, quote, no final decision has yet officially been made, sources told the Wall Street Journal, but the move came last week after Ford itself became a campaign to promote Lightning's ability to power your home. Yeah, that's not really a value prompt long term. That's more like a novelty. No one's going to spend, what is it, $50,000, $70,000, $80,000 on an EV so they can power their home in the one time the year might need it and not even power their home efficiently. It'd be a lot better to just use a diesel generator, but nevertheless, they say, including a smart charging to take electricity when rates are cheaper, and also return energy to the grid with some participating utility companies. But as Wall Street Journal notes, Ford's EV sales have declined in the wake of electric tax credit going away. Yep. As a huge, well, also shows you the importance of politics when it comes to many business and industries. Automotive industry is one of the most regulated industries in the United States. It's ridiculous. I find abhorrent. And also the tax subsidies. I mean, a big reason why Americans are buying these depreciating smartphone on wheels is because they got a $7,500 tax credit, which is has a lot of money. Without that, EV sales are continuing. I think they're going to continue to crash like a Boeing airplane. Now, they say that, quote, total EV sales dropped 24% in October, and the Lightning has been known as a costly loss leader for years. And now it may no longer be useful for Ford to keep it around at all. Ford declined to comment to Inside EVs on whether it's considering canceling the F-150. They say to understand why the opinion may change, we have to understand how automotive regulations have changed. Previous era standards, they had a fleet average. The more gas-guzzling cars you want to sell, the more EVs you had to sell, which, yeah. Again, the government getting involved in areas they should not. But yeah, that was one of the reasons Ford was making these abominations, just so they can continue to sell profitable vehicles. And I think we're going to see, again, there is some demand for EVs, don't get me wrong. However, it is not a fraction of what these automotive companies thought or hoped it would be. And without the government propping them up, I think you're going to continue to see these sales crash. And yeah, I don't know how many people are going to miss their F-150 Lightning. A truck that can't tow more than a couple of miles. I'm exaggerating a little bit. But the amount of towing the towing range when it actually has something attached to the vehicle drops dramatically, over 50%. It's comical. So I'm not surprised that, there's a lot of rumors that, last month they paused production completely, which in terms of automobile production, there are, times where you kind of throttle back or decrease the amount of output, but to stop it completely, that is almost unfathomably bad and shows how little demand there is for the product. I've personally seen 3 or 4 of these on the road. I met one owner who, yes, exactly, he had money to piss away. He had a vintage 60s Corvette, which those are worth more than house in Iowa. So I'm not seeing the average truck buyer wanting to get the EV version, especially if you actually use your truck for work, which is a lot of percentage of folks who actually buy Ford F-150 trucks. But let me know your thoughts because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down or comments. Great way to give me some additional feedback. Let me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone, everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.